How's it going? My name is Cameron, also known as Venus Theory, and in this video, I'm here to show you how you can use PSP PianoVerb as a creative sound design tool. PianoVerb was recently updated with a new GUI and is now resizable, but it sounds as good as ever. This is a free plugin, and to get it for yourself if you don't already have it, you can go to PSPaudioware.com, create an account, and download it. So if you haven't done that, you can pause this video now and go grab it for yourself. So PianoVerb is an algorithmic reverb that seeks to emulate an old recording trick, which is taking a grand piano, putting something very heavy on the sustain pedal, and then playing something very loudly next to it, or putting a speaker into the cavity of the piano and playing that. What you would then do is record the vibrating strings with microphones or a contact mic, and you get this really cool metallic dissonant reverb that you can't really get any other way. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I certainly don't have a grand piano just lying around here that I can do this with, so PianoVerb is a great way to get a similar effect right in the box. So today I'm going to show you how I like to use PianoVerb to enhance my impact effect sounds, and I think it's actually a pretty cool trick. So let's dive in and take a look. Alright, so here we are with Bitwig open, and I wanted to show you guys first the sound that I created and talk a little bit about how I created it. So I've got a big old group of a few different things. I've got some Foley sounds here. I've got a box of nails, candy shaker, chains, a couple just metallic objects, 808 kick, another kick noise, a reverse cymbal, and then just a couple synthesized elements. And this creates a really nice kind of swooping sci-fi impact sound. So without any of the additional processing, we can go ahead and just disable all of that here. This is the raw sound, which is all right. Maybe not all that impressive, but you know, it's a good starting point. So once we go ahead and enable all the basic effects here, I've just created kind of a little bit of enhancement and then just a bit of space to give it some life, because you know, impacts need to be these big, large sounds. So to kick things off, I used Old Timer. This is just a nice little compressor plugin just to squeeze the dynamic range of this whole thing down a little bit. Then I've got two instances of Easy Verb going after that. I'm just adding a bit of ambience and then a hall. This is just to open it up, give it just a little bit more space. From there, I fed this into Micro Warmer, which is a great way just to add some kind of beef and weight to sounds and just, again, reduce the overall dynamic range and make it just feel a bit thicker. After that, I've got another Easy Verb. This is a Cathedral reverb. This is just a big open reverb to give this a lot of room to kind of bloom out and expand after the impact hits. Finally, to top it off, I've got Mix Saturator on the very end, and I'm using the warmth and softness controls just to control the high and low end of the signal. So I'm giving it a bit more subsonic information, a bit more weight overall, and just using a bit of saturation with the output saturation engaged. And that's just going to add that nice bit of soft clipping and just overall, you know, crunchy, gooey goodness. So now that we've got all the core processing done, let's go ahead and take a listen to the sound. So now we've got this big, huge sci-fi impact, but it's not really quite there. It's just missing something. And usually what I like to do with these sounds is add, you know, kind of some metallic something or other. It just adds this extra bit of life and depth to the sound and just a bit more sonic interest overall. And this is where PianoVerb comes in handy. So PianoVerb was recently updated with this new interface, which looks really slick. And we've got just a handful of controls, which makes it very straightforward and easy to use. So first up, we have the decay time, which adjusts the overall decay. Transpose, which is kind of neat. This kind of biases it more towards the higher end of the piano strings or the lower end. So in this case, since we're going for, you know, low, deep rumbling sound, I just went down, and this just, you know, tunes the whole effect down and sounds pretty cool. After that, we have damping, which like any other reverb just applies a bit of damping to the signal. In this case, I've got quite a bit of high-end information, and I don't want it to really ring out, especially in the tail end of the impact. You know, I want that kind of dark, brooding, low, rumbling impact thing. Below that, we have the tune knob, so you can fine tune the effect. Detune, which is really cool. So if we detune 100%, we get this really, you know, weird, wild sound, which is really what I wanted. Otherwise, you could tune it back and it will keep everything, you know, in some kind of harmonic order and make it a bit less crazy. Below that, we have the mix and output, so you can use that to blend in the effect. You could automate the mix, you could do whatever you want, and then output if it's just, you know, too loud or things are getting a bit out of hand. So to showcase adjusting a few of these settings, I'm going to go ahead and detune it back to 0, and we're just going to set everything back to roughly the default. So right away, PianoVerb adds quite a bit of character to this sound. So we're starting to get into more interesting sonic territory. So I'm just going to adjust a few parameters, and it'll really open the sound up in a cool way. So first off, I want more PianoVerb. So I'm going to adjust the decay time. We're going to move that up. We're going to transpose down, like I said, since we're making kind of a big impact sound, you know, we want to bias things more towards that low end. After that, the damping, I'm just going to adjust this to taste. Again, since we're going for more of a dark sound, I just kind of want to damp most of the high-end content. You know, I want a little bit of it there, but not too much. The tuning is fine where it is. Since we're going to detune this so heavily, it doesn't really matter. However, you could use this to fine tune it if you have more of a tonal element. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this in just a bit more, and we can go ahead and give this a play, and this is with no detuning applied. So it definitely sounds more interesting, and there's just some extra quality to this sound that you can't quite pin your finger on. And that's why this is such a cool effect, is it's like, it's just something completely different than any other reverb you might have. So now I'm just going to start moving up the detune until I find a point that I like it. In this case, I know I'm going to go up to 100%, but let's just kind of slowly work in the detuning. So one more time without any detuning applied. Let's go ahead and bring this up to about 30%. So now we're starting to get into something a bit more weird and foreign. Let's go ahead and move it up to maybe 70. And that's sounding pretty cool. And once we go all the way up, we get this really big, open, weird sci-fi effect, which sounds really, really cool. So you can apply the same effect to just about anything. On drum one-shots, it can add some kind of cool, weird reverb effects you might not get any other way. Vocals, it can sound really, really interesting. And pads as well. You can do kind of a similar thing to what I've shown here, is, just adding kind of this weird metallic dissonance to a pad, and it can really make things way more interesting than they were in just a couple clicks. So that's it for this video. Like I said, PSP PianoVerb is totally free. If you want to grab it for yourself, you can go to PSPaudioware.com and create an account. So thanks for watching, guys, and to check out more info on all the other awesome plugins offered by PSP, you can go to PSPaudioware.com.